moment you prayed. Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, سَيُدْرِكُكَ لَيْلَةَ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. How many people they can pray and pray and pray, the night of Qadr they slept in, they don't show up. Have you heard of any brothers like that? Please raise your hand. Wallahi, last night to Amin and come to the masjid, we overslept. Have you heard that in the last 10 days? Every once in a while you'll hear a few brothers that say that. I want to say, brother, maybe Allah doesn't accept, maybe Allah doesn't want you, or maybe Allah is warning you. Be very careful. I can't say that to them because I don't know ghaib. But al-muwaffaq alladhi yuwaffiquhu Allah. He who arrives to the great ending is because Allah gave him tawfiq to get there, gave him tawfiq to be there. And this is between you and Allah. We are all sinners. Every single one of us are sinners and sinners and sinners and sinners. And we are always sinning. And as long as we live in America, we're going to be superstars in sinning. Allahu Akbar, son. That's takbir, Allahu Akbar, huh? Allah is saying this true. Allahu Akbar is the truth. This sincerity, هذا الإخلاص هو الذي سيبلغك الدرجات العلى. This ikhlas is what's going to elevate you to the highest of ranks. Wallahi, dear brothers and sisters, look at this. Very simple. If we came on the day of judgment and we are not in higher ranks of the Sahara of Fir'aun, ya khibat al-mas'a. Listen to what I said. If we come to the day on the day of judgment and we are not in higher ranks than the sorcerers of the Pharaoh that never prayed a rak'ah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are surely losers, even if we enter Jannah. Even if we enter Jannah. Because everyone that enters Jannah, they're going to say, I wish I would have been in the next stage. I wish I would have been in the next level. I wish I would have gone to the next level. Subhanallah. It's extremely important to understand that if we come on the day of judgment and the Sahara of Fir'aun are in higher ranks than we are, we want to sit there and cry and say, Ya hasrata ala ma farratna fi jambillah. We should say, we wish we would have, we could have, we should have. Or we wish we could have, should have, would have. Because we're in northeast Minneapolis, so we have to throw a little slang. So we have to look at this ikhlas that is extremely important. Wallahi, I was thinking about this. And I thought, if I come on the day of judgment and the Sahara of Fir'aun are in higher ranks than I am, ya khibat al-mas'a. Even if we enter Jannah, even if this person enters Jannah, the Sahara of Fir'aun, they did nothing. They didn't pray. They didn't fast. They didn't give sadaqah. They didn't do qiyam. They did not do tarawih. They did not do witr. They did not attend so many Laylatul Qadr. With that, they are amongst the highest ranked in Jannah. So if those who come to the masjid, and those who pray, and those who seek the knowledge, and those who give sadaqah, and those cannot arrive at least at that level, wallahi, they were doing something extremely wrong. They were doing something extremely wrong. And most of it has to do with our hearts. Most of it has to do with our hearts. The most important thing about ikhlas, dear brothers and sisters, and we've mentioned it in each one of the categories, but I want to reiterate, because this sums it all up. It's right here. Please, I say it over and over. Every time you hear قال Allah, قال Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, please bow your head in submission. Please, bow, for your sake, bow your head in submission. If you want to ask why, it's because you want to get more wisdom. It's because you want to learn the details. It's because you want to know how to respond when people ask you. But do not be very careful that you are asking because it doesn't make sense to me. Or, I've read so many books, I don't think this makes sense. Islam is not about making sense. Like we've mentioned many, many times. Islam only makes sense to those who submit. Once you submit your will to Allah, wallahi, Islam will make sense to you. The more you submit your will to Allah, the more sense it will make to you. The more you submit your will to Allah, the easier Islam will become to you. You think the mashayikh are having a hard life? They don't have a hard life. Because with the knowledge that they have, they get out of a lot of situations that those who do not have that knowledge get stuck in. For example, all of us know a brother that, or a sister or somebody that travels. Once they travel, they have a hard time. They don't pray. Not because they're scared of people looking at them at the airport. That's Allahu A'lam if that's their case or not. But they say, oh brother, you know, I went to the bathroom and I didn't know how to make tahara. And now my underwear has najasa and I can't pray in the najasa. Allahu Akbar. Khalas. It's over, Malay. For you, if you traveled for 6 years, you won't pray for 6 years. You just stay like that. But if you have the knowledge and you know how to get around things like this, you have no problem. You should always be in a state and ready to pray, no matter what. Even if you are in a state of najasa, you should be able to figure out and you should know al-hukum. What is it that you need to do? What is permissible for you and not? Even if you do have the najasa. I'm not saying the sheikh, somebody's going to walk out and say, the sheikh said you can pray while you have najasa. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you get stuck in a state of najasa, you should know how to get around it and pray. The prayer is not abandoned, does not fall off your shoulders because you are traveling and you are on KLM flight 962. Or Air France 9301. That's actually a true flight though. It's Minneapolis, Paris. Why? Because I've taken it many times, so I've got it memorized. And on the way back, it's 9301. Huh? Yeah. Or some people, they're like in the plane, I can't pray. Why not? You got Muslim written all over you. You praying is not going to make them kick you out of the plane. If it's up in the air, it's on. It's over. You can pray. You might not want to do it before it takes off, but once it does, it's okay, it's game. This sincerity, as much sincerity as you have towards Allah, Allah will open your heart to ways you cannot imagine. Allah will open your heart in accepting the truth. Allah will open your heart, and when you become and you find ways of making ibadah. Allah will open your heart when you are making dua. Allah will open your heart in every way imaginable, that even when the hardship comes onto you, you find a way around it because you have the iman to deal with it. Tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, we will talk about al-mahabba, the love of Allah. So we urge all of you, I know today and yesterday was the weekend and you've been invited, and you know that rice and that, what is your special dish you talked about last night? Biryani? Biryani? You've had your biryani and you gotta hang out. Tomorrow night, inshallah, we're all back to the work schedule. Let's try to be here early so we can talk about the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-mahabba is one of the 7 conditions of La ilaha illallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.